What's crackin', memers? It's your boy. What are you doing in my swamp? SumitoMedia here with a thank you video. The channel recently crossed 50,000 subscribers, and I figured it was about time that I took a second and just expressed my gratitude for the sheer number of people who have decided that it is worth their time out of their day to watch the stupid content that I put so much time into. I'm extremely grateful that the channel has grown to the size that it has, and I just figured we hit 50,000 subscribers very quickly. In fact, by the time that you're watching this, we're probably closer to 60,000 subscribers. There's probably a great number of you guys that only know me from a few videos, and I've never really done a sort of get-to-know-me video, so if you want to hang out with me for this sort of out-of-the-ordinary community video here, I've got some questions that I will be answering that I asked on my Twitter and my Discord. We're going to take a quick tour of my studio so that you guys can see the sort of hardware that I use and my new place, as well as a little bit of the backstory as to why I make YouTube videos, how I met Internet Historian, and stuff like that. So if that sounds entertaining, stick around. So before we jump into the Q&A, I believe I should break down just all the things that I do on the internet that you guys can enjoy, because with a lot of you discovering me through my YouTube videos and my collaborations with Internet Historian on YouTube, you might not know the number of things that I actually do in total when it comes to the SumitoMedia brand, if you were here on the internet. So, of course, you have the SumitoMedia channel. This is where you will find the vast majority of my videos. Meme reviews, meme contents, This Week in Memes, pretty much anything that I feel is worth your time, worth the time of showing to everybody who took the time to describe, you will find here. I do have two other YouTube channels. I have Sumito Streams and SumitoMedia IRL, both of which you can find linked in my channel page. Sumito Streams is just uploads of full games that I play on Twitch, so if you guys ever miss a stream or want to watch me play through the entirety of Yakuza Kiwami, Persona 4 Golden, or any other indie title that we knock out every week, they will be uploaded there. SumitoMedia IRL is what is a more traditional second channel, so anything that I find that doesn't fit onto the main channel, if I do any sort of shit posts, or I do like a rap or a green screen that people want to have access to, and also any fast food reviews or anime reviews that I do will be going up on the SumitoMedia IRL channel. So if you guys are interested in stuff other than my main channel videos, check out those two YouTube channels. You can also watch a bunch of stuff there. With that said, I do also have a Twitch channel at twitch.tv/SumitoMedia, which is always linked in the description, along with everything else that I do, where I am live streaming every week, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 5 p.m. in LA, 1 a.m. in London, and 11 a.m. in Australia, Monday through Friday, 5 days a week. If you guys like watching my videos, if you like watching this podcast, if you watched a lot of the stuff that I do on YouTube, I strongly recommend coming and checking out my Twitch. I don't mean that to sound like a, hey, I want everybody to come and grow my Twitch channel sort of thing. When I started doing Twitch, I streamed like 2 or 3 days a week, and it felt like the only thing I could do was play video games, because that's what I thought Twitch was just watching people play video games. But since I started streaming 5 days a week as an effort to, I'm trying to make YouTube my job, so I want to take everything as seriously as I can, use every free hour that I've got to sort of make good stuff for you. We've done some fun stuff on Twitch. I mean, you can chat with me directly. You can type into chat. I'll see it. I will talk back to you. So any questions that you have, anything you want to say about the videos, any ideas that you have, you can send my way. In the background, you're watching me eat all of Burger King's menu because I wanted to see if the memes about Burger King being garbage were true. Right? We did another one where we taste tested a whole bunch of Halloween candy, and I ranked them based on which ones were the most delicious. I do music reviews. We talk about anime. I obviously do play video games, but then I also do stuff where like I edit videos live so you can see the work that goes into it. And if you have memes, like a lot of the jokes that I have in my most recent videos come from Twitch chat, come from people going, hey, Sumed, why don't you include this meme? Do you remember this thing about VTubers? And it makes the videos better thanks to your help. And I think that's something something that if you watch a lot of my videos, you will probably enjoy being a fan of. But if nothing else, I am also trying to grow on Twitch as well to get to sort of a respectable size. So if you want to drop by, just listen to my voice in the background while I play some stupid game. It helps me tremendously, and don't think for a second that I don't appreciate it. So I'm on Twitch if you want to come see it. YouTube and Twitch are going to be the biggest places that you will find my video content, but I do also post a tremendous amount of content on my Twitter at SumitoMedia. It is typically linked in my description as always. But if you want memes, tweets, my background thoughts, any sort of shit post, short videos that I find, TikToks that I like that don't make it into a video, usually end up on Twitter. So if you use Twitter frequently, feel free to follow me if you want to. It's not necessary in order to enjoy my YouTube videos or anything. And you might not necessarily like my Twitter if you like my YouTube videos, because I'm much more of a degenerate on that much darker part of the internet over on Twitter. But it's there if you want to follow that social. I do also have an Instagram, also SumitoMedia. That isn't super meme related. That's just my personal Instagram. So I post outfits, I post places that I go, travel, pictures, stuff like that. But it is one of my socials. So if you use Instagram and you'd like to follow a little bit of the behind the scenes of a YouTuber, Instagram's a good place for it. Last but not least, we have the couple things that I do on the internet where you can give back to me if you should so choose. First and foremost is, of course, the Patreon, of which I have had a number of dedicated subscribers that have really helped with the channel in a number of ways. It isn't where I make most of my money like it would be on YouTube or on Twitch, but it is definitely... It's very relieving to know that there is this number of people that sort of have my back and want to see me succeed. So... I do my best to try and have videos and podcasts out a day early for my patrons. So if you're the type of person who wants to be able to support me in a tangible way directly, or you like the occasional video early or the occasional podcast a day early, if that's super important to you, Patreon is a thing, and you guys are fantastic. I appreciate you more than I can express, because I'm bad at expressing everything, apparently. And last but not least, there is, of course, SumitoMedia.com. If you guys like the skeleton hoodie that I'm wearing, or the bone-hurting juice vending machine, or the anti-simp juice, all the stuff that you see me wear that I design in collaboration with my artist, Rae, is available at SumitoMedia.com. I do my best to keep everything relatively cheap. You can get a t-shirt or a long-sleeve t-shirt for under $30. You can get a hoodie for under $40 with shipping to pretty much anywhere. Just in case you like the stuff that I wear and you want to be able to own a piece of thing that you can say, hey, this is SumitoMedia's merch. That's available for you, and I thank you in advance if you do decide to pick up a piece or two. Howdy, howdy. SumitoMedia here, finally doing a studio tour. I know I said that I would do this once we hit like a certain number of patrons or whatever, but I figured I'd do it for the 50K video just because I moved into this new apartment. I've got everything mostly set up, so we'll start out with the kitchen for no reason in particular. It's an absolute mess because I just bought a bunch of stuff and the power went out. Bought some Wolf brand chili and then didn't actually end up eating any of it, which is, got some Suntory whiskey, which is, it's been a long week. But here's what my fridge looks like. I know some people asked to see my fridge. It's not impressive. I don't really have cooking utensils or anything, so I don't have anything that I would actually make a meal out of. I just have like ready-made stuff from the local grocery stores. But what you guys actually want to see is my studio setup. This is a 24-inch Dell Ultra-Sharp monitor, a 27-inch G-Sync gaming Dell monitor, 144 hertz, and then that's just like a throwaway 24-inch like Acer or something. I've got another old one over there. But I'm using two Savage softbox lights. These are 250 watts. I use a Sony A6300. This, of course, is mounted to a ring light, which I don't use when I'm streaming because it hits my eyes really, really harshly, but I do use when I'm doing the main channel videos just because it makes it look better. My PC, which is this is a Corsair 5700X, I believe is what this computer case is called. Inside of that is a 8-thread AMD 3800X, 32 gigs of RAM, and a 2070 Super with 2 or 3 terabytes of SSD storage, all of which is full now since we started streaming. I use a Razer Black Widow Tournament Edition because I like not having the number pad so that I can keep my mouse very close. This is a glorious mouse. These suck. I very much do not recommend using them. They're uber light and the software is not super responsive, but they're like $35, so I can't really complain because the DPI is good on them. My main microphone that I've been using for like the last 3 videos is a AT875R. This is a shotgun microphone. I randomly started using this microphone right up to my mouth. Like shotgun microphones I typically have mounted to one of these and then like way over my head. But recently I've started using it as my like broadcast microphone right up to my mouth because for some reason when you're very close to a shotgun microphone, they have a very nice proximity effect that really picks up like the deeper tones in your voice. So this sounds better than using this microphone, although both of these I have hooked up to a H4n and I can switch between which one of the microphones I'm using by just pressing one of these buttons, and when I do, that's when I can stand up and just use this and stare at my microphone and talk. And then the last piece of real hardware I have is this Elgato green screen, which is this folds down completely and completely folds away, which makes it super convenient because I can just cover that up and makes it easy to move. I do now have this nice big blank white wall that I could just get like a bigger green screen and just hang up at the wall because I never really need to take it down. So I'll look into doing that. But outside of that, I've used this guy. And then I guess I might as well just show you guys what the bedroom looks like. It's not all that interesting. There's a giant panda. There's my bed. I don't have a TV stand. I don't really have a bedside stand or anything either, but the studio setup, that's the important thing. How I got into YouTube and how I met Internet Historian. These are the 2 biggest questions that I got when I asked you guys what you wanted to know in a Q&A video like this. So 5 years ago, more or less, I started working at an electronics store. Think of it like a Best Buy for broad strokes purposes, but the staff there is much better trained to really know their stuff about computers and the hardware around computers so that they can sell them properly. And I already knew computers pretty well, but it was a commission-based job, so you get paid more the more that you sell. And our store was like abnormally busy because of the location that it was in. So if you're in my position at that store, you made a respectable amount of money, especially considering that I was like 20 years old with no college degree at this point. I was, however, going to college at the same time. So Monday through the first half of Thursday, I would be in college classes. And then the second half of Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I would be working full-time hours, like 35 hours basically, at the electronics store. And it was hard. A lot of people do that, and it's not like it's easy for anybody, but I felt like it was especially hard for me because I didn't really care about what my college degree would do for me. I was in college for engineering. I failed a math class while I was at community college. I did community college for about 3.5 years before I got the credits that I needed to transfer into my 4-year college. But in community college, like my sophomore year, I failed a math class. And then I took it the next year, and then I got a C, which was passing for the engineering schools. But then the class after that, I failed the math class again. And I was like, bro, not only am I going to have to take this a second time, like I'm just not grasping the concepts to like learn at home and like be able to do on a test. Like it's either not resonating with me or I really feel like I can't teach myself this stuff. But it was like, even if you take a second year to do this math class, you're going to have to do it again in your senior year because there's another math class after that. And then you're going to be an engineer. So this is what you're going to be doing in and out. This is what people are going to pay you for. So I was like, I'm just not feeling it. But I knew that I couldn't just say that because I had a good paying job. I could afford to go to college, even if it did take up every ounce of free time that I had. So I already felt like I was in a position that a lot of people wanted to be in, and I was kind of wasting it. So I was like, if I want to be able to not go to college, I have to be able to justify it in one way or another, which is roughly when I started deciding that I wanted to do YouTube. And I didn't know a ton about YouTube at that point. I had done some stand-up comedy. I had done some goofy videos on YouTube, nothing that got more than like 300-400 views over the course of the 8 years my channel just sort of existed. But I knew that I should probably post weekly, and I should probably post something that I think will help people. So I started by doing technology videos. So I have videos on like the new iPhone and new high-end laptops and stuff. And eventually I convinced my manager at my electronics store to let me borrow computers and hardware that customers had returned. So the box was already open. So I would take it at the beginning of the day and I would return it before the end of the day so that it was still in inventory. And they had like official paperwork and everything for stuff like that to be sort of checked out of the store. So it was all legit. But it was a great gig. I did maybe a month and a half of reviewing like the new Microsoft Surface laptop and Asus's newest gaming laptop, and they got decent views, and it was relatively fun to shoot. But my direct manager eventually ended up moving to another store just a couple months after that gig, and my general manager at that store did not like me whatsoever. It might have been just because he didn't like me. It might have been because I was tardy 40 out of 60 shifts, but you know, who really knows? But basically, I couldn't check out hardware anymore. I also had a side channel where me and my buddy would do like Halloween candy taste tests and just sort of like goofy vlogger style things. But I couldn't really post on that channel every week either because he was also full-time in school and full-time working. So our schedules never really aligned. Continuing to going to college and continuing to be frustrated with my situation, I decided that I needed to try and do my channel in a way that didn't rely on anybody. Because at this point, what I liked doing with the technology videos, I now sort of had taken away from me because my manager wouldn't let me check out any computers or anything for me to be able to like test. And my buddy was never available for us to do another video eating 50 donuts or trying all the best spicy candy or whatever video I wanted to do that week. So I was like, okay, I need to not only be able to do something that I can do by myself, but I need to do something that I could feasibly do in one day. That I could sit at my computer, grind the 8 hours that I have free on Saturday night and Sunday night, and just get it done. And I bounced between the idea of doing music reviews, kind of like Fantano, or meme reviews, kind of like Fantano. And I ran it by my girlfriend, and she was like, you'd probably be better off doing memes. I don't see you doing music. You listen to only the music that you listened to back in high school in the early 2000s. And I was like, yeah, that's probably true. Late 2010s, early 2010s, whatever. So I did that. I did my first video on, I think it was Drake memes. Drake recently put out his music video for, I don't remember what the song is called. But it was the one where he gave away like $1 million and he was hugging people and everything. And it didn't do great, but it was a lot of fun to make. I liked looking up the memes, the feeling of sort of like researching the background of the memes and the sort of mix of other memes and combining the memes and the funny videos into this one sort of easy to watch video was really satisfying. At that point, my videos were only like 3 or 4 minutes long, but my goal was just to get out a video every week. Because even then, I sort of knew that it was like, your videos aren't going to be perfect now, but if you start now, a year from now, you'll be 25 years old, and you'll have a year of video experience. And then a year from then, you'll be 26 years old, and you'll have a year of video experience on top of that. So, you know, starting from basically zero now, you'll be way, way better. Just keep putting out bad videos. Just do it every week. Maybe one takes off, maybe they don't, but your goal is just to get better, learn what's bad, learn what's good, and get on it. And that was probably the best decision I made. Probably the best decision that anybody starting on YouTube or with a small YouTube channel could make was just, you know, just put in an effort. After 6 months of posting, I hit 1,000 subscribers, and that was a combination of I didn't really do any marketing. I didn't really post stuff on Reddit. I didn't really do anything other than post them on YouTube and, you know, do my best to try and see what memes are popular and title the video in a way that I think, oh, Big Chungus is a thing. I better have Big Chungus in the title. Like, you know, simple stuff like that. After a year, I had about 2,000 subscribers. And it was around this point that Internet Historian reached out to me. So I'm playing League of Legends one night, and Internet Historian joins my Discord. I had made a Discord because people in my comments, I had like 100, 150 views on every video at this point. This is 100, 150 videos down the line. I'd been uploading 3 times a week now for like a 6-month period. I was uploading Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I was trying to make them 10 minutes. So they were really garbage, but they were frequent and they were on topic for the most part. Internet Historian joins my Discord, pings me, and goes, "Hey, SumitoMedia, bumped into your video work online. Really like your stuff. Do you mind if I steal some clips from some of your videos?" I didn't know who he was at this point, and I didn't see it until like 15 minutes later, but I messaged back to him, and I was like, yeah, go for it, whatever. Like, people at this point had done a few meme edits, and a couple people had made like Nightcore remixes of my videos. And I've always said, if you're making a meme or if you're using it for something, like, it's fine. Just don't upload the whole video on your own channel, and I don't have an issue with it. The next day, I've got like 4 pings in my Discord, all pinging me going, "Sumet, that's the Internet Historian. His YouTube channel's linked in his profile. That's the Internet Historian." And eventually I checked out his channel, and I was like, holy shit, this dude's got like 1 million subs. I really hope I make it into his next video. And he followed me on Twitter. He was like, "Do you have a Twitter?" I was like, "I do, but it was mostly to reserve the username. I don't really use it." He followed me. I followed him back. The video that he saw of mine was the video on Instagram stealing memes from Reddit, people stealing memes from Reddit. He proceeded to make a video on that same topic. So obviously in his research, looking that stuff up, he bumped into my video, which I had done like a week and a half before because I was uploading 3 videos a week at this point. And in the final cut of that video, if you guys pay attention, I'm not in that video whatsoever. So I remember watching through that video, and I was like, fuck, I didn't make the final cut. Whatever I did in my video that garnered his attention, I wasn't like interesting enough or whatever to make it in the final video. But he posted some stuff on Twitter, and I would always reply to his tweets because I only followed like 9 people because I didn't really use Twitter. But one day when I replied to his tweets, he messaged me on Twitter, and he was like, "Yo, we should do it in the field. When are you available?" And I was like, "Oh shit, I'm available right now. Let's fucking go." I had no idea what an in the field was. Checked out his second channel, saw the videos, figured it was basically a podcast, and that's when we recorded the Japanese Kit Kat Forest video. We probably recorded something like 2 or 3 hours of just dicking around, looking at Japanese subculture and messing around on Google Maps. And then nothing happened for like 7 months. During that call, I did ask, he did mention that he was coming to VidCon. And I was like, oh, VidCon's cool. I'm going to go to VidCon. Because I'm in the States. I mean, it's just a flight for me. I mean, it's just a flight for anybody. But I was planning on going as part of this idea that I'm going to try and take YouTube seriously. So I fly to VidCon. He flies to VidCon. We meet up there. I meet a couple other YouTubers. I met Surreal Entertainment. I saw the Odd Ones Out. I saw the Gamer from Mars. I saw Justin Wang, the BuzzFeed guys. VidCon's cool. If you guys are really into YouTube stuff, VidCon's really cool. It's definitely something you should check out if you have the availability. But I talked to him when we get to VidCon, and I was like, yo, how are you coming along with that in the field video that we shot like 8 months prior, 6 months prior or whatever? And he was like, oh, we couldn't really get an angle on it. Like, there's some good stuff in it, but like my editors haven't touched it. Like, it doesn't, like, we're not really sure what to do with it. And I was like, oh, true. And then eventually he was like, hey, we're in LA. We had that joke about the radish farms. I'm actually planning on going to Japan right after this. Maybe we could tie something together for the In the Field. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. So we had this big field of just empty nothingness that was next to my Airbnb. And that's where we recorded the sort of IRL section at the end of the Kit Kat Forest video. That's not in Dansville, Virginia, as a lot of people in the comments pointed out, from the palm trees that were there. That's actually in Southern California. And then the Japan footage that he has is from a trip. He went to Japan right after that. And then because of that tie together, he ended up putting together that video, which did tremendously. Brought something to the tune of 10,000 subscribers to my channel, which at the time only had about 3,000 subscribers. Really blew me up from that point. And it was around that time that I decided, you know what, I'm going to take YouTube seriously from this point on. So I officially dropped out of college, and this is maybe a year and a half ago, close to a year and a half ago. Officially dropped out of college. Officially am doing YouTube as my full thing in addition to my day job. And at this moment in time, am now actively working to make YouTube my day job. So this is very much not a hobby of mine, and I want to keep it a hobby of mine. It's something that I put time into to try and make as good as I can with the free time that I have. But the second that I make enough money between YouTube and Twitch and Patreon to quit my day job, give myself that extra 50 hours a week, back into dumping into YouTube, that's exactly what I'm going to do. More videos, more podcasts, more streams, better stuff. There's absolutely no plans on slowing down. So that's currently where we are at the moment. I'm relatively close. I could definitely be a full-time YouTuber at this moment if I didn't live in the DC area where rent is nearly $2,000 a month. If I lived in the middle of Wisconsin like Gus Johnson, or if I lived anywhere where prices weren't basically LA rent prices, we'd be there by now. But because I'm not, I'm further from the goal. But we're getting closer every single day. You guys support me in so many different ways that there's no doubt in my mind that it's going to happen. And I spend every waking hour that I have that I'm not working on something or working on my work, just planning on what exactly is going to go down the second that I have all this free time available. So that's how I got into YouTube, sort of at a necessity. Not necessity like I had nothing else to do, but I felt like nothing else was going to fulfill me. So I feel like it puts me in a sort of unique position because I feel like a lot of YouTubers will be in a situation where it's like YouTube was a viable option, and so they decided to do it. Like they'll have a video get a ton of views, or they'll have 100,000 subscribers, and then they'll be like, oh, maybe I should quit my job. I feel like maybe I'm wrong in saying that, but I feel like I've seen a lot of YouTuber question and answer videos, day in the life videos, where they talk about how they became a full-time YouTuber. And it was legit 9 times out of 10, the response is, oh, it just kind of happened. I wasn't planning on it. I wasn't trying to make it happen. My YouTube just got really big, and I decided, hey, I can do this as a job, so why don't I? Whereas I'm sort of, I guess, in the smaller camp of people who's like, YouTube, I know YouTube can be a job. I'm actively working to make it a job, and that is my plan A. There is no plan B. There is no college degree. I don't want to stay at continue doing day jobs. This is the main goal. So I should have thought of an ending to this section. But on to your question and answers, your questions and my answers. Number 1, from Jesse Ferguson on Patreon. What made you want to get into the YouTube scene? And number 2, was there a point that you thought to yourself that making content is tougher than you thought and might not be worth it? If so, what helped you push forward? So number 1, what made you want to get into the YouTube scene? I think I sort of covered in my background story. But basically, it's the only thing that felt fulfilling. Making videos about meme culture and like stuff that made me laugh on the internet, which was really sort of my escape from the difficulty of being so stressed, trying to get a college degree and working at a job that was really, really high stress. The internet, funny YouTube videos, funny animes, memes, like that's really what kept me going, really what sort of kept me stable. So being able to compile that in a way that I feel like provides a little bit of my personality and helps somebody else either get into something, understand it, or appreciate it even more so. Just, I don't know, it felt really good. It still does feel really good. And I guess I just sort of discovered that super early. As for number 2, it has always been a lot tougher than I thought putting out as many videos as I do. Even if it's only one video a month, doing that every week, or one video a week, doing that every week for a month might not be the end of the world to make sure you do 4 videos in a month, but doing that for a year, doing that for 2 years, especially that 4-month, 6-month period where I was uploading 3 videos a week, 12 videos a month, is hard. And it's really hard to turn on the camera and try and talk about how funny Big Chungus is for 15 minutes when you're super bummed out because like your parents are mad at you, or your girlfriend's mad at you, or you got into a fight with your boss or your customer or your professor or whatever. That stuff's tough. It's almost never easy. There's been a few videos that have been super easy to make because they're super topical. I know they're going to get a lot of views. They have a lot of funny examples, and I have a lot of my own jokes that I can work into it. And it feels great. But a lot of the time, in the beginning, it doesn't feel like it's worth it because you know in the back of your head that very few people are going to see it. You know in the back of your head that this is 4 or 5 hours that you're dumping into a video that you could be spending playing video games, that you could be spending watching videos, you could be spending going to sleep on time and actually getting to work on time the next day. And instead, you're sort of dedicating to this sort of nebulous idea that the work that you're putting in now could grow into something in the future. And it's a tough concept to grab. And I think if after 6 months, a year, 2 years, depending on sort of what else is going on with your life, if you're not seeing any results, it might not be the sort of thing. Like the thing that you might want to realize there is maybe this isn't worth my time. But what helped me push forward was knowing that I had all the time in the world. I was relatively young. I was 25. I wasn't going to become like a 17-year-old, actor millionaire. But if I wanted to make YouTube my job and I wanted to do that before I was 30, for instance, I had 5 years of video every week, getting better all the time. Like, I felt like I could do it. And so the only thing keeping me from not achieving that would be stopping. So obviously I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep going. And yeah, I mean, if I kept gaining, 100 views every video for like 6 years, yeah, that would suck. But I just kind of knew that YouTube doesn't work that way. If you're getting 100 views a video and you upload for 2 years, like 2 years down the line, you're going to be getting way more views a video. That's just how it works. You've got that back catalog. You're getting better at making videos. YouTube's seeing your channel more often, so they're getting more familiar with what videos are good and who to send them to in their sub boxes. Yeah, you got to stick with it. YouTube's slow. And when it gets going, it's fantastic, but it's really slow. So the earlier that you learn that, the more you set your goals in line with the fact that this is going to take a while, the more realistic your expectations get, and the smaller of a fall you'll take anytime something sets you back. What big goal do you want to accomplish this year? From Monica in the Discord. My goal for the end of 2020 was actually to quit my day job. That's what I wanted to do at the end of 2020. When I was living at the old place before this apartment, I lived with 5 roommates. My rent was half of what it is now, maybe close to way less than what it is now. And it was super cheap. And I was in a great position with YouTube, with Twitch, with Patreon, with all the support, that by the end of 2020, I could not only pay my monthly dues, but I'd be able to maybe even save up a couple months worth of rent in case something crazy happened. And due to situations that don't really make sense to me, we ended up having to move out of the place because the landlord wanted to move back in, which I feel like is technically kicking out tenants in the middle of the coronavirus, which I didn't think was something that could happen. But that was the month break that I took, which is basically 4 to 5 weeks of... It was a couple nights of me sleeping in my car because I had my stuff in storage. I didn't want to move right into my parents' place because my dad's like super old. So I was like, let me just make sure I don't have the coronavirus. Eventually I ended up moving back into my mom's place, and I just needed to cool out for a bit. And then after 3 or 4 weeks, I decided there isn't going to be an easy way for me to move into a place with other roommates. It looks like I'm not going to be able to go full time on YouTube. I just need to keep my day job, keep working YouTube, and then move into a 1-bedroom place. So I moved into this apartment here, got all my stuff moved in. I didn't want to put out this 50K video out right away, even though I did hit 50K when I moved in. I wanted to get out some real videos onto the channel just to get back into the swing of things, work out any issues I have with the cameras or the lights or the microphones or whatever. So I don't have a big goal for the end of this year, but I'll be honest, after I get full-time on YouTube, I don't really think I'm going to set a ton of big goals in terms of like YouTuber numbers or anything. Because the biggest thing I could want out of YouTube is to make it my job so that I can do this to its max. I want to make the best videos, the best jokes, do the best analyses, the best highlights of what I think are interesting on the internet, and bring them in an entertaining way to light on my channel. But past that, I don't really care how many people are going to see the video. I don't really care how many people are going to sub. I don't really care how much money I'm going to make, so long as I know that I can keep doing it, right? The only issue right now is between me having to work so much at work, it gets very difficult for me to do it. But the second that changes, that's the last goal I'm going to care about, for real, for real. Real question, how far down the line do you reckon doing full-time YouTube/Twitch is right now? It depends. I would say that it would be possible by the end of 2020 for me to be in a situation where I'd be able to pay all my monthly dues and have $0 left over every month, and then be full-time on YouTube. But I think if I just give it a couple more months, because I'm working my day job and YouTube, if I can save up 5 months, 6 months of monthly dues, then I'd be able to go into YouTube, even if it didn't technically make all of my monthly dues. By the time I go full-time and I can start doing 4 videos a week and 2 podcasts on top of streaming and a bunch of other stuff, which is realistically what I'd be able to do if I had an extra 50 hours free every week and I didn't even need to drive anywhere. If I went full-time on YouTube, let me put it this way. If I went full-time on YouTube on the 1st of the month and I had 30 days of full-time YouTubing, I could definitely be a full-time YouTuber by the end of the month. Definitely. With as much free time as I have, to do research, to really make good videos, to really make good streams. There's not a doubt in my mind that 30 full days of working on YouTube, I could grow enough and get enough people watching my videos to where it would pay for everything that I need to then go full-time the next month. But the issue is obviously if I'm wrong, then we have a problem. So a couple more months to pay off some of the credit card debt that I've got, and then a couple more months after that would give me a little bit of a safety net in case I fail. By that point, 4 months out, YouTube would probably be in a position to be able to go full-time. But if not, I'd hopefully do a good job of saving enough money to be able to go full-time at that point anyway. But fingers crossed, hopefully soon. Mr. Fox, is YouTube/Twitch your end goal in the media industry, or do you have bigger plans? So I came to a little bit of a revelation with this not too long ago. I don't know if I was Twitch streaming or if I was just thinking about it. But after watching Spirited Away and Princess Mononoke from Studio Ghibli and looking into just how iconic those movies are, and I've always really idolized Futurama as being this really beautiful mix of comedy and intelligence and cosmic nihilism that sort of creates this really beautiful piece of art in a way that reflects life. I always wanted to do that as a kid, and I always thought that I didn't go into the right path. I went into engineering. How is an engineer going to become a cartoonist or whatever? But the more and more I read into it, Ricky Gervais, when he wrote The Office, he was 35, dude. He was 10 years older than I am right now when he did The Office, which was the first big thing that he had written for TV. The average age of the writers that were on the Futurama team, there's 11 of them. The average age of those dudes when that show started was 36 or 37. They were all out of college, practicing other jobs. They cumulatively had 20 plus years at Harvard, and 30 plus years of college in between the 11 of them. And it was all that combination of stuff that led them to then make one of the greatest, funniest animated pieces of TV work ever. So I no longer think that I'm on the wrong path. I think I might be on the right path, and I think it's just sort of the path that I have to set for myself. So YouTube and Twitch is the goal right now. But down the line, my goal with YouTube and Twitch is to just get as good at being entertaining and funny as I can. Just get really good at telling jokes, really good at writing jokes, really good at knowing what's funny and how to take what's funny out of whatever's happening in modern news and internet culture and what have you. And then a little bit of storytelling, a little bit of character development, a little bit of directional, learn how to direct scenes and people and actors. And I don't think, a shitty TV show or a B-grade Netflix special or a cult following YouTube animation is too far out there. Definitely something I want to be able to do in the future, but I'm not saying, I want to make this clear. I'm not saying Netflix decides that they're doing season 8 of One Punch Man and, I'm going to be a voice actor in it and therefore I quit YouTube and stop doing it. That's not what I mean at all. I'm saying if I get to a point where I can make an original animation, an original story, and somebody can animate it, or original song that can then be used in this and that, that's definitely something that I want to pursue because I feel like it's sort of a natural progression of becoming better at this so that one day I can eventually have my own TV show, my own movies, my own animated series, stuff that's really going to highlight these things that I've cultivated over the years to try and become more entertaining, more comedically minded. And I just want to be able to one day put out a piece of content that resonates with people the way that Futurama resonated with me. Right? That TV show, it's a TV show. It's not, Gandhi meeting you when you're a kid. It's not Michael Phelps have you seen that picture of Michael Phelps? He's with a kid next to him, and then 10 years later, that kid's a gold medal swimmer or whatever. It's nothing that crazy. But to me, it was. For some reason, Futurama's the coolest fucking thing in the world to me. And it's because they put so much time and dedication into making that as good as they could. That's what I want to strive for. So whatever I could make that's got that level of detail to it, that's what I want to make happen one day. In your videos, do you play a character or a more amped up version of yourself, or are you the way that you are in videos the same that you are IRL. I'm pretty close to how I am in videos IRL. I find all the same stuff funny. I am just as in tune and obsessed with internet and video games and anime and memes as I am in my videos. But the character that I play on my channel is always what I think is going to be the most interesting thing I could be at that moment. So if I for instance, I don't hate furries, and I don't have like a strong need to hate on furries or anything. I think they're whatever. But if I'm going to do a video on furries and it's funnier for me as the character on camera to hate furries, like maybe I think of a joke where it's like furry jokes are everywhere and it's funnier for me to be mad and angry about it, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to put on camera. Does it mean that people are going to see that, think that's how I feel, and then be like, yeah, Sumito hates furries? Yeah, of course it does. But like the internet's never going to judge you appropriately anyway. But it's going to make for a funnier video at the end of the day, and that's the goal. The goal is not to make everybody who watches that video love me and come to my birthday party. It's to make you laugh so that you're exposed to jokes that maybe you wouldn't be otherwise, and hopefully brighten your day up a little bit in whatever way that I can. What's your most favorite and least favorite thing about internet culture? My favorite thing about internet culture is definitely memes. It's definitely how quick people are to make whatever joke that they want to make, whether good, whether bad. I think there's some great humor that you can really only get out of the internet because people are anonymous and they can say some crazy shit that you wouldn't see them say on stage. My least favorite thing on the internet is obviously going to be unwarranted cancel culture. I think that's everybody's answer. I don't think cancel culture in itself is terrible. I think if a celebrity is doing something awful and they're making most of their money from their fans and their fans can decide, you know what, we don't want this anymore because you're a terrible person, I think that's probably good. But fake cancel culture, where people are literally just doing that because they're stuck at home and bored, or they have no proof that anybody is a terrible person, they just feel like canceling somebody that day, is obviously really scary as somebody who wants to make being an internet persona, his job. Obviously, that's a terrifying concept. And what do you think is the most overrated meme ever? Without a doubt, they did surgery on a grape. They did surgery on a grape can go fuck itself. I hate that meme. Rosie Fox, do you want viewers to come to your videos out of loyalty of Sumito or because of the media that you cover and your knowledge about it? I appreciate the wordplay with Sumito and media there. Due to the loyalty of Sumito, I want you guys to watch my videos because you like me and my take on whatever video I decide to make. Because of the media you cover makes me think of a lot of people who grow their channels because they do videos on celebrities or tea or other YouTubers, and they blow up really big because they're talking about super popular topics. And then when they want to do a vlog or they want to do something that isn't about something big and they just want to talk about what they care about, they don't get anywhere near the views. And views or whatever, you shouldn't care about it. But if you make it your job and then suddenly your numbers go down, that's a problem. But also, if you get sick of making those videos because you don't care about them, and that's what the situation is for a lot of people. You make 50 videos talking about Shane Dawson, you get up to 150,000 subs, great. But now you don't want to make videos still ragging on Shane Dawson or covering the drama in the YouTube space. You just want to do videos playing video games. You're not going to get 150K subs worth of views. You're going to get almost none because those people subscribe for your media and not because of your Sumito. So I think when you look at it that way, obviously, I don't expect to get as many views if I upload a random video talking about my favorite anime or going to my local fast food place. But I think if you do a good enough job incorporating a whole lot of your personality into your videos and you make good videos, don't forget about I don't think there's any reason that you shouldn't be able to do whatever you want and people watch because of the loyalty to you rather than just the topic. Comatose, who is the intended audience for your memes? Boomers wanting to learn about what memes their kids like or people who are already in the know? I like to think that the videos that I make are for people who already know internet culture and memes. Like, I don't think you're going to send my video to your buddy who's never seen a meme before and then they're suddenly going to understand the meme. I think if anything, they'd be even more confused after watching one of my videos. I like to think that. But in reality, when I make a video, like I'll make a ton of jokes and then I'll realize I can't just not explain what a glizzy is if I'm going to make a bunch of jokes about glizzies. And so I end up explaining the joke and then I end up making jokes. And I think it has sort of become you know, it's still not as lazy as behind the meme. I'm not just telling you why a joke is funny and then leaving and telling you to subscribe. I give you the basis of why people are memeing something. I give you some easy memes to look at, and only because I want to share with you these really intense, complex iterations of these memes that I love and I appreciate and I want you to appreciate. But in order to appreciate, you have to understand the 5 steps behind it. I hope that makes sense. In less than 500 words, explain what is your favorite kind of vending machine and why. Follow-up question for that one. What is the coolest thing you bought from a vending machine? I haven't bought anything super cool from a vending machine. I've never been to Japan. So the coolest thing I bought from a vending machine has been like, you know, like fruit. I think there was fruit at a vending machine at one of the airports that I visited. But my favorite kind of vending machine from what I've seen online is definitely got to be the hot food vending machines that they have in Japan, dude. Being able to push a button and it fucking microwaves a hot dog for you and that's what comes out of a vending machine, that's the dream, dude. What is the earliest meme you can remember falling in love with? Also, congrats on 50K. Thank you. The earliest meme I can remember falling in love with was lolcats. Or possibly green text. I feel like those went hand in hand with me. But back before I even had a computer, I had a PSP, and I'd be scrolling 4chan on my PSP and looking at lolcats on funnyjunk.com on my PSP. And I thought they were hilarious, and I would save them, and then those obviously disappeared because I don't know what happened to my PSP. But those were the earliest memes I remember falling in love with. Did you expect to reach this number at this pace, or did you expect it to be a bit longer? Also, let me get some anime recommendations. Keep it up, bro. Thank you. I didn't really have any expectations. I just wanted to keep working, and I wanted to be able to go full-time at some point. So I did my best to try and do it as quickly as I could. At this point, it's been a little bit over 2 years to hit 50,000 subscribers. Whatever that number means to you, I know if I didn't really set any goals. I just knew if I set goals, I wasn't in control of how many people decided they wanted to watch my videos. And at the end of the day, you know, like if you want to go full-time on YouTube, you have to get good enough to make videos that people will want to watch that you can get better at, right? But you can't control who clicks the subscribe button. So I never looked at it that way. Also, anime recommendations. If you haven't seen The Great Pretender, Wild Spartans told me to check it out. It's really freaking good. Watch The Great Pretender. But otherwise, I've been watching Haikyuu, the volleyball anime. That's got, I think it's last season, currently airing. I don't know. If you like sports animes, that one's been fantastic. I love it. What was the thing that made you realize this YouTube thing might actually work out for me? What were the views, watch minutes, etc. that you thought started making it official for you? I mean, I still don't know if YouTube will work out for me, which I know is sort of a stupid thing to say at 50,000 subscribers if you're somebody who's like just starting out on YouTube. But like that's the reality of the situation. Like even though it feels like I'm close right now, like everybody says that YouTubers make the most money in November and December and then they make no money in January and February. So like I need to learn that. They say that YouTubers lose like a third of their money in taxes. So it's like you have to pay back a lot of money in taxes after you receive your money. So I need to learn that. So the only thing that made me think that YouTube might work out for me was just me realizing that I wanted to do it and I had enough time that I could do it without quitting. I was like, if this takes 5 years, this takes 5 years. I'm 2 years in. I'm relatively close, but if it takes another 3 years, like I'm ready for it. That's the only thing that's made me feel like I've got a shot at this. No views, no watch minutes. There's nothing that I've looked at and gone, oh, this is starting to get real. This is starting to get official. Like I'm still moving at the pace that I was moving at when I started. I still feel like I'm just as far away from the end goal as when I started. What's your favorite classic YouTube video? Like, I mean, from 2005 to 2009, the Golden Age arc? Probably Ryan Higa's videos. Probably How to Be Ninja. I remember sharing that with everybody on YouTube when I first saw that video. I thought it was the funniest thing in the world. Have you ever taken classes in acting? You're really good at doing your different bit characters. I appreciate that. No, I have not taken any classes in acting. I wasn't a theater kid in high school either, although I kind of wish I was because they look really cool. But I want to take acting classes. I want to take voice acting classes, and I want to take some theater classes just as like a part-time thing when I have the time, just because like I want to get good at acting. I want to get good at voice acting. I want to be able to voice act and stuff in the future. I want to be able to legitimately act in stuff in the future. If for no reason other than to make better YouTube videos, but also, you know, TV show down the road, movies down the road. Like I want to be able to do that stuff so that I can be the best me that I can be. If you weren't doing YouTube and streaming on the side, what would you be doing? Have you ever thought about making a review channel like you did with anime and that no meat drive-through? Congrats on 50 subs, and thanks for coming out with amazing content every week. Thank you, YRed. If I wasn't doing YouTube and streaming on the side, I'd probably try and finish college and be an engineer. Boring answer, but boring reality. Review channel, I have the other channels, Sumito Streams for video games and SumitoMedia IRL for everything else. Food reviews and anime will be going on that SumitoMedia IRL channel, so subscribe to that. That's it. Mary Drake, who or what are your biggest comedic influences on or off the internet, and when would you say you first really figured out your style of comedy? Was it something that you gradually came into, or was there a moment that just hit you? I have always been a comedic dude. I've always wanted to be the center of attention. I've been kicked out of every classroom that I've ever been in for being a distraction. I've always been the funny guy in the group. I'm always the one trying to make people laugh. Like, that's been true since I've been real little. So it's probably something that's gradually come to me. My comedy has definitely shifted as I've spent a lot more time on the internet. It's much less goofy and much more narcissistic and nihilistic as a result. My biggest comedic influencers, I would definitely say, are Bo Burnham and Dimitri Martin. Both musicians, both stand-up comedians, both people who have done movie and TV work, Netflix specials and everything. Those dudes are really fucking smart, and they do comedy almost as like the best way for them to garner attention to how genius they are, Bo Burnham especially. And again, that sort of, flawless execution of comedy that only comes with really knowing what you're doing is just a big, big thing for me. But then obviously outside of those guys, the more internet age guys, Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, Hannibal Buress. Congrats, my dude. A well-deserved 50K. Lame question incoming. What's your favorite video game of all time? I typically say Sly Cooper. But since playing Yakuza Kiwami and since playing Persona 4 Golden, I have since realized that I have never played a good video game because those games are incredible. But I would say favorite video game all time, it's slowly seeping into either Persona 4 Golden or Yakuza Kiwami. Because those games they are way more my style. They are beautiful. They are funny. They're emotional. They're great. I love those games. And that's all the Q&As that I've got. So thank you for sticking around to this video that is probably going to end up at a little under an hour. I hope you enjoyed some of it. Again, mostly just wanted to do this as a way to let everybody know how appreciative I am. Thank you so much for the support that you have shown me, for getting the channel up to 50,000 subscribers and more. You should celebrate your milestones is something that people say to me. And I don't do it because I feel like talking about your accomplishments sort of jinxes it. It feels like if I talk about being a YouTuber, then I'm losing the opportunity to be a YouTuber. Like life's karma is just going to take it away for me, sort of thing. But I feel like at this point, it's okay. I'm close. I feel like I've done enough things to make this as realistic as possible, and I want to be able to give back to you guys in as many ways that I can for helping me reach this goal. So thank you so much. If you made it to the end of this kind of video, like I don't know what else to say to you. Thank you. Appreciate you watching my videos this far through. I hope they continue to bring you as much value as you found in all my other videos. And that's all I got. I got to go to bed, go to work in the morning. Hopefully I don't need to do that for too much longer. Thank you guys again for all the support that you've shown me. Thank you for watching this video. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.